Shabbat, Shalawam, Yasharahla. Praises be unto thee, O Most High Yahweh, for another edifying lesson, right? Because I find it crazy, truth be told. But then sometimes we're dealing with scoffers, people that are actually non-believers, people that do not believe that there is even a God, let alone rules to comply with. It's kind of crazy. But yes, Israel. Folk like to question God. I was watching a program the other day. Threw me off completely, Yasharahla. These people are making a mockery of a thing, because in my understanding, it is crazy to even try to question the Most High God. Even if they say it's just an entity that they believe in, it is unfounding to think that they'd sit there and make a mockery and question certain things. When it is clear, you're like nothing compared to your Creator. So how can you dare even sit there and try to question anything? That's an extreme amount of stupidity, to be honest, on anyone's part. But some would say they're curious. We're just curious, so we're just asking certain questions. I'm not going to fall in that. But what I can do is I can go through a few of the written words in regards to questioning your Creator and see where it leads. So Israel, I want to go to Romans. I want to go to Romans chapter 9 and verse 18. So that's Romans chapter 9 and 18. And I'll go through to verse 22. So verse 18, Israel. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth ye yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Verse 19 again. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Verse 20. Nay, but O man, art thou repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Hath not the potter over the clay, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump, to make one vessel to honor and another to dishonor? Verse 22. What if God, willing to show his wrath, and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessel of wrath fitted to destruction? So there is a lot there, Israel. But it's just going into, you have no standing in questioning what God does. For as it says here, has he not the power to form two separate entities, let's say this, from a singular lump? And whilst doing so, he chose via election, he chose one bit of that lump to honor and the other to dishonor, to discard, to destroy from the very beginning. Now, how can anyone have any question about that in regards to why he did, when he has the power to do everything his will? That is hard hitting. So how can you question your Creator? Has he not the power to do such a thing? To make you how he wants to make you? To choose you or reject you? Best believe he has. So verse 22. What if God, willing to show his wrath to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath, fitted to destruction, was made to be destroyed. Long suffering is waiting, but the time shall come when he shall destroy the very same thing he created, for he created it for that specific purpose. Now that thing cannot come and say, why doeth you make me thus? It just has no power. You cannot do nothing. So from there, Israel, we want Corinthians, we want 1 Corinthians, we want chapter 10. So that's 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and 22, Israel. And verse 22 reads, do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than him? I'm sure we already know the answer. Going back to what I was saying, you'd be mad, you'd be crazy to do that. If you truly believe in a God, an almighty, powerful God, you already know he does whatever he wants, because there is none next to him. So again, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 22, Israel. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than him? We know the answer. No. So from 1 Corinthians, Yasharahla, let's go to Job. We're gonna go through a few chapters and verses in Job, and we want to start at chapter 9 and 2. Slakia 9 and 12, Israel. So that's Job chapter 9 and verse 12. And verse 12 read, behold, he taketh away. Who can hinder him? Who will say unto him, what doest thou? You cannot say that. The Most High does whatever he wants. He is God after all. So Job chapter 9 and 12. Behold, he, the Most High, taketh away. Who can hinder him? Who will say unto him, what doest thou? Playing upon tables, Yasharahla. We can go a few chapters up to chapter 15 and verse 25. So that's Job chapter 15 and verse 25, Yasharahla. Verse 25 reads, for he stretcheth out his hand against God. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. That's what you're doing. It's like you're trying to build yourself up above God, like you can talk with God. As I usually say, your hands are too short to box with God. You're going to get knocked out. So we can't be so primitive thinking. And it's as if you're putting your own God in a box. It makes no sense, Israel. It makes no sense. So you cannot question the doings of God. So I'll read that again, Israel. Job chapter 15 and 25. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. He's a madman, insane in the membrane, clear, playing up on tables. So we don't fall into that, Israel. So we stay in Job and we're going to go up to chapter 35, Israel. Slakia, let's just do 33. So that's Job 33 and 13, Israel. So verse 13. Why dost thou strive against him? Why dost thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matter. Don't come try and question this thing. If the Most High deem it, he deems it. You have to accept it. So again, Yasharahla. Job 33 and 13. Why dost thou strive? Why dost thou strive? Strengthenest your hand against God. You're mad. Again, Job 33 and 13. Why dost thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matter. You can't question God. I'm having fun, too much fun. Israel, let's go to chapter 40. That's chapter 40 and verse 2, Israel. In Job chapter 40 and 2. Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? So you going to contend with God and then give him instructions? Who are you? You got to come down a little bit. That pedestal that you're climbing up, you're insane. You're making yourself God. What are you doing? You don't question that. How can you even begin to question the things the Most High do and does? On the level. Because remember, people always have questions. We're inquisitive. But still, you have sense. Common sense. Tell you. You can't do that. But some do it. Because them have reprobate minds. So again, Job 40 and verse 2. Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. So if you think you're that big and bold, Mr. Man, open your mouth. Answer it. Job 40 and 2. Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. You're treading on eggshells here. Be careful. It's insanity. So we're going to step out of Job now, Israel, and we want to go to Isaiah. Because it gets worse. Isaiah 10 and 15. So Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth? From top. Verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood. That is deep, but yet playing upon tables, Israel. I'll read that one more time. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Just like we're saying, you can't open your mouth to your creator. Why have you made me thus? You can't get into that sort of thing. That is plain insanity. So again, Israel, Isaiah chapter 10 and 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood. So we don't go down them lines, Israel. We're not that thick. So from Isaiah, Israel, we want to go to, well, we can remain in Isaiah and let's do chapter 29 and verse 16. So that's Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 16, Israel. 29 and 16 reads, Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing formed say of him that formed it, He had no understanding? No, Israel, none of that don't make no sense. Again, you could make, let's just speak hypothetical. I've got shoes, trainers, that man like. We've got more than one pair. At the end of the day, I prefer one pair over the other. So for example now, Israel, let's go deeper. If both these pairs of trainers had the ability to think, would then any of them have any right to question me how I choose that one over the other? No. But even if I was to, it's void, because I am the creator. I do what I want. That's all it's going into. It is playing up on tables, Israel. So Isaiah 29, chapter 29 and 16 again, Israel. Surely your turning of things upside down shall esteem as the potter's clay. For shall the creation, shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not. You cannot discredit that the Most High God created you. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? No. It's just no. So again, Israel, you can't question certain things. You question God, the doings of why he does what he does. If you are Israel, be thankful you were chosen by election. So we can remain in Isaiah, and we could go up a few chapters to chapter 45, Yasharahla. So chapter 45 and verse 9. And verse 9 says, woe unto him that striveth with his master. You cannot buck up against your creator. You could easily be deleted. This is something that should be, you should know this deep down. You should know this deep down. So I just don't get it when certain people act a certain way. So truthfully, I put it down to them just don't really believe in. I know God, and them really are scoffers, and they're just saying what they're saying. Just because they can say it. So Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 9. Woe unto him that striveth with his master. Let the potsherds strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? Or thy work he hath no hands. No. It's just no. The creator does whatever he wants to do, how he wants to, when he wants to. It's just, that's just it. That's just it. It's full stop. Let us go to chapter 55. Is it 55? No, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to close it out, Israel. I'm going to close it out. I'm going to close it out with Isaiah and Jeremiah. These two. Because you could have just gone to these two anyhow to make the point, but as you know, precepts must be upon precepts. Line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. We must do it this way, Israel, for this is how it's meant to be done. So Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 8. And I'll go through. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. The creation is not on a level to communicate anything like this to its creator. It is plain insanity. It makes no sense. So again, Israel, Isaiah chapter 55 verse 8 through to 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. And verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts, Israel. Now we go to Jeremiah chapter 18. Jeremiah chapter 18, Israel. Because again, we do this to prove the point, and it's been proven. It's quite clear that the point has been proven in regards to anyone trying to question God. It's sheer insanity. So on Jeremiah chapter 18. And we want a verse, let's go from 5 through to 6. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith Yahweh? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel. So Israel, the Most High fashioned us, the Most High doeth as he will with us and with everything, as he is the creator of all. So I'll read that to close out again. Israel, Jeremiah chapter 18 and verse 5 through to 6. Then the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith Yahweh? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in my hand, O house of Israel. All praises be unto the Most High Yahweh, Slakia Israel. All praises be unto the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Amashiach, Komelak, Yahweh Shai. Until the next one, Israel, I bid you, Israel, I bid you farewell. Until the next one, Shalawam.